The FUJIFILM X-H2S is Fujifilm's current flagship camera, designed to deliver exceptional hybrid capabilities with open gate filming and Fujifilm's newest 5th generation stack sensor and processor. Now, this video isn't going to be focused on the technical aspect, but rather how I feel about it personally. This isn't sponsored and I'm not here to sell you this camera, and I haven't seen that many reviews. So with all that said, let's get to it. I've been using Fujifilm since the release of the X-T20 alongside my main work cameras like the Nikon D780 and the Sony A7 IV, but I never used it for work. Now, I don't want you to think that I'm saying that Fujifilm isn't good enough to be used professionally. When I was starting out, I saw someone using the X-T10 and the colors they were getting out of this retro looking camera were absolutely amazing, and the whole camera aesthetic really had me interested. While I was focused on just getting better and practicing, I was getting to the point where I just wasn't having as much fun, and all I was looking at were just results. I wanted something that made me forget all about that. I wanted a camera that was just for me and fun to use. I went ahead and I purchased the X-T20 with the 35mm f1.4 lens, which is also known as the magic lens for its unreal rendering and characteristics. And I enjoyed every moment with that camera. Every time I would go out, this camera would come with me. When I started to use it for more portrait shoots, I was getting a little bit frustrated at how slow I was with changing the focus points. So I had to rely on back button focusing just to recompose every shot. So eventually I upgraded to the X-T3 and then the X-T4. I still kept these cameras away from professional work despite being tempted, because mentally I didn't want to associate these cameras with work. So I used it to capture more personal and Instagram content. Once I started getting into video work, I decided to bring the X-T4 out to jobs with me. And this ended up becoming my main filming rig, and I went on to using this for weddings, commercial and other promo type content. When the Fujifilm X-H2S was announced, I first thought I would never spend that much on a crop sensor camera. It was double the price that I had spent on any other Fujifilm body. But then I reflected on my experience using Fujifilm over the years, and these are my thoughts. In the debate of full frame and crop sensor cameras, I really don't think it matters. I think it comes down to personal preference. Crop sensor cameras have come such a long way now, and a full frame camera isn't exactly going to make you a better photographer, videographer or filmmaker. What I mean by exactly is that you need to feel good about what you're using. If you really think that having a larger sensor is going to motivate you to do better, then go for it. No matter what other cameras I've used, the Fujifilm just feels right. The colors you get out of these cameras, even as straight out of camera JPEGs with film simulations, they're just amazing. Every time I've done a shoot with a Fujifilm camera, I've always felt good about it. I started to get busier and booked more often for video work and decided it was time to treat myself again. And I went ahead and I purchased the X-H2S. Going from the XT range to the XH range, there are a few things that I had to get used to. I just have a few points that I'd like to touch on about this camera. I'll start off with the ergonomics of the camera. The X-H2S allows for a better grip, and I love that. The X-T4 with and without a cage was a little difficult to hold when I was using heavier lenses like the Sigma Art 18-35 with the Fringer adapter. So I feel better about holding this camera for longer durations, especially in the vertical orientation. At first, I felt like I lost an essential component that made the camera fun to use, and that was the top dials. I didn't use them as often as I'd like on the XT range, but it was something fun when I wanted to pretend like I had a film camera and I used vintage lenses. After using the X-H2S for a little bit, I realized while I lost something that was just cool to have, this camera still offered everything that made using Fujifilm great. Everything I wanted and loved was still there, just repackaged into a more professional looking body, and it even offered more. The better autofocus system, stabilization, battery life, and the ability to now do 4K 120. These are all great features, but also at the end of the day, these things won't create better content themselves. If I still had the X-T3, I could probably still carry out most of my jobs, but having this camera now has motivated me and pushed me to become better. Would I pick this up over my Sony A7 IV? I think both systems are amazing and they have their own strengths, but having this camera now has narrowed the gap, and I would definitely keep this as my A cam depending on what I'm shooting. The Sony just feels like a solid work tool and it delivers straight results. While the Sony has a slightly better focusing system, it's never really mattered that much to me. I've never been in a situation where I've thought, I wish my autofocus system was faster or better. The Fujifilm just offers so much character, and when I use it, I just feel like I can be a better creator with it. I think it's important to develop a better understanding of the equipment that you use and being realistic with what it can do. In the past, I've seen many Sony and Canon users pick up a Fujifilm camera and make a video about it not being like either system. The colors are different, the settings are different, the shooting experience is different, but that's also the beauty of it. So now I've accepted Fujifilm into my professional kit for 2023 and grown to accept that I can use this camera without feeling like I need to keep it away from work to maintain enjoying it. Thank you so much for watching, and if you found this video helpful or entertaining, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it around. Your support means the world to me and encourages me to keep creating content like this. Please hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more exciting videos coming up.